Okay, hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila reporting from Dallas County, and I'm here with, who am I here with?
Hey, it's Hanyu.
How are you doing today?
We are doing. Oh shoot! I just said it. Why am I? I am so behind. Zanfretta UFO Incident.
That's right, we're doing the Zanfretta UFO Incident today. And also today is the day after Veterans Day, am I right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and as we've discussed before, Hanyu over here is a veteran. Would you like to say a few words?
Do what you need to do. Don't go with what other people say. Just follow what you want to do, and everything shall work out fine.
Alright. Do you have any advice for women of color joining the military?
If it's uh, for women of color joining the military, if
Yes.
you feel like that's something that you want to do, I definitely think you should do it, no matter what anyone says, because only you can figure out and you have to be the one to do it. So if you think you can do it, by all means, go for it. Do that. It's an experience that I believe some people that want to do it should experience, whether you're a person of color, a woman, or not.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom. So, we're going to be talking about. Let's move on to the Zanfretta UFO incident. So, what do you know about this particular incident?
To be honest, I'm not quite sure fully on the whole thing. So let's see. I'm usually the one that's not guarded and tries to believe everything that comes out.
Okay. So yeah, so this incident was an alleged alien encounter of an Italian night watchman named Pier Fortunato Zanfretta, and he later claimed to have been abducted by the beings 11 times between 1978 and 1981. So yeah.
Hmm.
So let's get into what is going on with this guy. So, according to Zanfretta, on December 6th, 1978, at approximately 23:30, or I believe that is 11:30 p.m., he was examining the Villa Casa Nostra, and upon entering a black yard, saw a red oval object with a diameter of over 33 feet. At this point, he called his supervisor, who recalled him screaming. On turning around, Zanfretta reported running into beings who were 9.8 feet tall.
Woo! That's really tall.
Yeah, with mottled skin as though they were fat or wearing a rumpled suit. The creatures had
An egger suit.
What?
An egger suit.
An egger suit?
Sorry, I was doing a Men in Black.
Oh, okay. So the creatures had yellow triangular eyes and cloved feet. Oh, or clawed feet. When the supervisor asked if he was being attacked by men, Zanfretta was said to have responded, "No, they are not men," at which point communication was lost. Zanfretta was later found unconscious in a state of shock by his colleagues. So what are we thinking?
Uh, some type of aliens trying to pretend to be something they're not in a different suit that doesn't quite fill them well and get spotted by the local
Right.
and needs to cover it up.
Who wants to cover it up?
They do.
Who?
Everyone else didn't see who it was, just him, and he was in a state of shock.
So you say the aliens wanted to cover him up?
Well, covered themselves up, of course. You never try to leave evidence.
Okay. But then why did they abduct him like 10 more times after this?
Well, did he get abducted the first time? Maybe they were trying to wipe his memory.
Let's see. So later, when under hypnosis, Zanfretta would claim that the beings had abducted him and taken him into a bright room in their craft. He also added to the description of the alien beings saying, "They are green with triangular yellow eyes with big thorns. They have green flesh and their skin is full of wrinkles, as if they were old. Their mouths look like they were made of iron, and they have red veins on their heads. Pointed ears and arms with fingernails, with round things. They came from the third galaxy." So what do you think about that?
Interesting for him to have such a great description and the exact points or exact galaxy that they came from.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that that is a bit suspicious?
A smidge suspicious.
Well, luckily for us, there was an artist's drawing of his description. So let's look that up. You ready to check it out?
Yep.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Now I will share my screen. Okay, it's a little bit small, but you can see it. There it is.
Very interesting.
So, what are your thoughts?
It's a very interesting depiction of them.
So, do you believe that this night watchman actually saw this being on the night of 1978?
It's quite a possibility.
Well, what would you do if you ever came across this particular thing?
I don't know. I'll probably do the normal response all of us humans do and scream.
You just scream and run away?
I don't know if I'll run away. That would depend on what happens. Probably because I've had to go through so many haunted houses and have to get scared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my flight reflexes on something so terrifying would actually be terrifying enough for me to run.
Oh, okay. But you do think that this thing is pretty scary.
Yes, it definitely looks pretty scary.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm about 5'4". I'm kind of short, so I'm looking way up, if not have fallen on my butt already.
Okay. Here's another photo of the being. There's like quite a few drawings of these things. Okay. Here it is again. Except now it's like just of the alien itself. Ooh, what are your thoughts?
That's definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was these beings he found and saw these aliens. So, who knows? Maybe they're still out there. Ooh. All right.
It's a possibility. Mm-hmm.
So the incident became famous after Zanfretta was invited onto the show Portobello to tell his story. So an investigation was launched by the Carabinieri, who were able to find 52 witnesses who also claimed to have seen the UFO. According to one, the craft was visible at 7:30 p.m. on December 6th and hovered at the height of approximately 4,900 feet. Where Zanfretta claims the craft had touched down investigators noticed there was a horseshoe-shaped impression approximately 6'6" in diameter. So, what do you think of that?
Definitely a big craft.
Mm-hmm. But they said they only found it 6.6 feet, but the entire craft itself is said to be 33 feet in diameter. It might have just been one of the legs.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it has to be such a big thing for such a tall alien.
right. I mean, yeah, because both of the aliens are like almost 10 feet tall, and I believe they were like more than one. So and so the case was subject to the play. The subject of the play, The True Story of the Most Famous Alien Abduction in Italy. So you can check that out whenever you want to go to the theater. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of the Zanfretta UFO incident. What would you say? What would you say about this entire case? Do you think he actually did see it, or are you leaning towards no?
I'm leaning towards yes, because if he got interviewed and there was other people after it's been described to about what he saw, other people coming forward saying, no, I saw that same alien before. It was at blase blase. It's kind of hard to dismiss one account when you end up having more than one.
Yeah. Now, the closest thing we had to actual like scientists doing anything in this particular thing was that of the Carabinieri investigation. Who is the who are they? The they're the National Gendarmerie, which is the military force, the national military force of Italy, who primarily carry out domestic policing duties. So, and they only really found they found 52 witnesses who can attest to it, and they found these impressions on where Zanfretta claimed the UFO touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, there really isn't much in terms of disproving. So, I mean, yeah. And also, he also explained it during hypnosis. He also explained his whole thing during hypnosis. What do you think that tells you?
Well, hypnosis is about a 50-50 chance because the person has to allow themselves to be hypnotized.
Mm-hmm.
So, as long as he's wanting to be hypnotized, and that hypnosis is a 50-50 thing. That can be like given or not given. But the other 52 people that they did find that can say, no, we saw the same thing, that's more undisputed than hypnosis.
Okay, so you don't really do really into the hypnosis aspect, but you were really into the 52 eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much. It's one of the more compelling cases that we have discussed in terms of UFO sightings, and there really doesn't seem to be too much backpedaling from the skeptic side for people to say that it probably wasn't faked. But who knows? Maybe he did see these things, and maybe you'll be able to see those things too. Ooh.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Now you have to pass along this podcast to 10 other people, or else they'll find you in the night or something.
Hey.
What?
Hey. We're not doing chain letters. That is like so 90s.
So 90s? So early internet era?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your final thoughts about the Zanfretta UFO incident?
Well, my final thoughts is I definitely think that something did happen. To an extent, they could have thought he was an ambassador because he was in uniform, and that's why they came back to him each time, trying to get some diplomatic thing going. So, yes, my final thoughts is that it probably happened and aliens probably existed, but most of you guys who's been listening to us for a while should know that I'm usually open mind for such things.
Right, and also the Zanfretta never did say what he talked about while he was on the ship.
True.
So yeah, I mean, there's also this book called The Zanfretta Case by Reno Di Stefano. If anyone wants to read more about this particular case, it was released in 2014. I will put the link into the description. And yeah, so that is the Zanfretta UFO incident. It was a pretty interesting, compelling case, and hopefully we'll do more UFO stuff in the future. Am I right?
True, but remember, we'll have to call them by their proper name now.
What is it? The AUPs? The UAPs?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the AUPs. That's their new rebranded name.
Yes,
Yes.
you know, the government became newly woke.
Yeah,
saying
and
UFOs is just not that anymore.
yeah, like like how Facebook also rebranded. They're called Meta now. So
Yeah, Meta, which isn't going to last too much.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, half the people... No. That's a debate for a whole nother session.
Okay.
About Facebook and other things.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I'm Hanyu.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.